Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a Bioware classic. It's a story-driven RPG developed by Bioware and published by LucasArts back in 2003. It has a heavy focus on characters and dialogue, and the player drives the story forward by making choices that see them embrace the light side or the dark side of the Force. After crash landing an escape pod onto the planet of Taris, you start your adventure by trying to track down a Jedi who crash landed in another pod. But after that chapter, your journey will see you learn the ways of the Jedi and embark on an epic quest across a variety of planets to locate the star maps that will lead you to something known as the Starforge.
Greeting. Hello to you, prospective purchaser. I am referred to as HK-47.
Conversations with the wide cast of companions who join you and interactions with other characters throughout the game allow you to learn more about the plot and let you dive deeper into the lore of KOTOR. You can learn a lot about the cultures and histories of the worlds you visit, and if you chat with your crew regularly, you can learn more about each companion's personal story and background and can sometimes help them deal with problems.
I need your help.
The game uses an adapted Dungeons & Dragons gameplay system as the framework for how you build your character and deal with situations in the world. You make use of a variety of attributes, skills, and feats, and later unlock Jedi powers. This system can be intimidating for people who aren't familiar with D&D, but once you understand the system, building up a character quickly becomes a fun and engaging process, and you steadily feel yourself becoming more powerful with each level up. One of the most obvious places you can notice this increase in power is during the combat. The combat in the game can be a touch clunky, especially when moving from one target to the next, but for the most part it's a satisfying hybrid of real-time round-based fighting, and there are an array of armors and items you can equip and a decent variety of ways to approach combat. You can activate a shield, lob grenades and lay down blaster fire, get up close with a variety of melee weapons, including of course lightsabers, buff yourself before a fight with stimulants and force powers, or use your force powers more directly and aggressively against your foes. You'll also notice improvements outside of combat as you increase the rank of your skills. Your skills will let you do lots of useful things like disarm or recover mines, pick locks, hack computers and repair droids, or you might focus on persuading people or even pick up the force power that lets you influence minds.
I really need to get out of here.
Perhaps partly because of the tech available at the time KOTOR was developed, most areas in the game are small, limited and linear in nature, but KOTOR does a great job of making the journey you embark on feel epic and grand in scale. It makes the game world feel larger and more exciting than its physical measurements. It does this in a few clever ways. The backgrounds and the objects that add to those backgrounds, like buildings, ships or flying creatures, all sit outside the player's reach but anchor the playable space in the larger world and universe. The cutscenes you experience when you travel between planets reinforce that sense of a larger universe and make you feel like you're traveling great distances each time you travel to a new world. These cutscenes also help to introduce the unique properties of each planet. There are also a few mini-games in KOTOR, like Pazak or the Swoop Racing, that, while fairly simple in nature, break up the standard gameplay and once again make aspects of the universe feel larger and more believable. It feels like there's more happening beyond what the player gets to experience directly. One of the most effective ways the sense of scale is expanded is with the clever division of playable areas in the game in such a way that each area works well from a narrative standpoint and makes sense in the context of the physical location being presented to the player. This reinforces a sense of epicness and progress with each story beat. A great example of this concept can be seen on Taris, which is the first planet you'll find yourself on. Taris is divided into the upper city, lower city, and undercity. Each area has a different tone and feeling, and as you make your way down from the upper city to the lower city, and then the undercity and sewers, you'll continue making progress towards your primary goal. And as you unlock each area, you'll gain access to new side areas and side quests. The way accessing each area is tied to progressing the story and the distinct atmosphere of each location as you travel deeper and deeper into the underbelly of Taris really helps to make the planet feel a lot larger than the physical space you're actually moving through, and gives the stories and lore that characters tell you about the world an extra sense of believability.
We just kind of fell in together. It ain't easy on your own here in the lower city. Everyone's always looking to push you around.
The game also does a great job of building up to the moment you become a Jedi, and Taris functions as an excellent first chapter for you to learn the systems in the game and build confidence with them. You won't become a Jedi until after you leave Taris, but you do get some hints that you might be force sensitive and capable of becoming a Jedi. And dealing with most of the problems on Taris without Jedi powers or a lightsaber builds a sense of excitement and anticipation for when you will finally have access to them. It's always a satisfying moment when you complete your Jedi training on Dantooine and swing your lightsaber for the first time.
This must be what Revan and Malik found when they entered this temple. This must be where their journey down the dark side began.
KOTOR is one of my favourite games, but as much as I love it, I think it's important to mention that at this point it is quite dated. It's definitely showing its age and it desperately needs a remaster. If you do decide to play it, you may find yourself downloading extra apps like flawless widescreen or running the game in windowed mode and fiddling with compatibility settings or adjusting settings in the ini file or some combination of all of those. If you get that far and start sinking some hours into the game, I would encourage you to have a few backup save files. The game can be quite buggy and sometimes save files will corrupt. At one point I nearly lost 3 or 4 hours of progress because I was mostly just using the quick save slot. Autosave saved me and in the end I only lost about 10 minutes, but after that I used 4 different save files that I rotated between each time I saved my progress. I think even with the trouble you might have getting the game working, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is still well and truly worth playing today. It's an epic Star Wars adventure full of interesting stories, characters and lore. Not only that, but it actually has an incredible sequel which was developed by Obsidian Entertainment and released in 2004. The sequel is just as good as, if not better than the first game. But KOTOR will always be a Bioware classic.
They are offering no resistance. The city is in ruins.
Resume the bombardment, Commander. Wipe this pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
Thank you to the legends supporting me on Patreon, and thank you for watching. Have a good day or night, whichever it may be, and I'll see you in the next video.
Capital ships, reinforce their position.